Hi, I'm Redheaded Riding Hood, and I'm going to read you William Barclay's Daily Celebration. No substitute. I yield to no one in my admiration and gratitude for all that religious broadcasting and those who direct it and practice it do for us, and do especially for those who are confined to their homes. And yet, the fact remains that, at least as far as I am concerned, no broadcast or television service can ever be a substitute for a service in a church. If I seem to raise this point frequently, I do so because it is important. Why? There is the very obvious fact that no picture can ever take the place of a person. A photograph is no substitute for a presence. Take away the living flesh and blood relationship between preacher and people, and something quite irreplaceable is lost. Nothing can really take the place of a worshiping fellowship of God's people. I know that every broadcast or televised service there is an unseen fellowship. Many a time at the microphone I have experienced it, but the fact remains that an actual flesh and blood fellowship has something that an unseen fellowship can never quite have. This is why it's better, all these meetings I go to, CODA meetings, you can go to them on Zoom too. But I feel like it's better to go to them in person, an in-person meeting, because they started doing that. I think sometimes they did it even before COVID, but it became popular during COVID. This is the least, so that's what he's talking, the difference between going to or watching a service on TV or listening to it on the radio, because this was in the 60s, he's talking, I think mostly it was on radio. This is not in the least to belittle what broadcasting can do, but it is to say that there is no substitute for worship in the actual company and presence of the worshiping people of God. The day can never come when the actual church service will become unnecessary and irrelevant. The advance of science and discovery could make it perfectly possible. It is possible now. Has made it possible for people to share in a church service without moving from their own fireside, but in such a service there is something lacking, and there always will be something lacking, which only the real personal flesh and blood physical contact of the church service can give. When a service is televised, we tend to be spectators of it rather than sharers in it. We tend to look in rather than to be in. No man can really get all that a service can give so long as he remains outside it. To spectate is not enough. Nothing will do but truly to share, and it is difficult to be sharing without being physically there. It should still be our aim not to gather people around a radio or television set, but to gather them within the house of God. I agree. And yeah, in-person meetings are better than Zoom meetings. And I got this cold last weekend, and so I watched my church service online, and then my pastor has a Zoom on Tuesday nights to discuss his sermon on Sunday. And so I watched the sermon online and went to the Zoom, and which usually is people that are outside of the Denver area too, but some are in the Denver area, and some go to the church. But it's no replacement for going to the actual service at the sanctuary in Denver. And we have communion every Sunday, and I suppose when I don't go, I could. If you you can watch the whole service on Facebook, and then you can watch just the message on YouTube or on the relentlesslove.org, which I always put the link below now. But you know, it's not the same as being there. It is not. Even the Zoom meeting, which is more being there than listening to the radio or just watching the service on TV. I feel like Zoom, you at least can have some interaction with the other people there and the pastor. But yeah, it's still not the same. I agree with William Barclay. Don't say that no one cares for you, because I do, and God does too. Don't forget to pray for Red, because Red is praying for you. Bye.